Hello. We're going to be doing a little bit of DVD commentary over this this game. We had this game 2 days ago on stream, and it was a pretty interesting one. Unfortunately, the recording didn't hold any audio, so all the original audio is gone, so I've overlaid it with some music and this beautiful DVD commentary that we're going to be going over the game, basically. Off the bat, it's not your typical wild game. It's a non-even shaman, I should say. It looks like, straight away, it looks like it's a full-on Jade shaman, possibly using Shudder, which it is. Spoiler alert, that's what it is. But I actually figured that out pretty early on in the game after we eyed up the Manatide Totem, and our Spy card revealed a bunch of Jade cards at the start. We saw Jade Lightning, and there's a couple of other ones in there. So, at the minute, we just take it nice and easy. We have Rat there. The Rat I'm going to try use to pull a Battlecry Jade card out of his hand. And the Potion, we're looking for damage to wall, and we're looking for maybe like 5 damage to a minion, so we can do a board clear later on. We actually go for summon 2 friendly minions and deal 4 damage to all minions. So, not too bad. Not too bad. So Rat comes down here because I can actually deal with Bran if it pulls, and I can actually deal with a big card if I want to, but a heal at this point is fine. So nice and nice and relaxed, because when you're facing a full-on Jade Shaman deck and you expect them to have Shudder in the mix, you need to be very cautious on your removal. You need to save it for as long as possible, clear the board when it reaches like critical mass, and then it refills basically. So we just take our time on this. We eye up a nice little heal rain in hand. We can see a second Jade Claw in his hand from the last turn. So we just go for our potion. Steal a 2/2, trade it, deal 4 to wall. Not bad. We had a choice of Rat, Kazakis, and the 2/2 that just died, and we got Rat and the 2/2. So yeah, heal rain in hand for him. Not a great card for us to find out that he has. We don't really care that he has heal rain. Now I see the Hex from Archimedes, shows Hex. I was gonna play Marin at this point, and I think, well, this guy, he's either gonna spend 4 mana hexing our chest now, or he's just gonna commit to killing our Fox on the other side. So that's why I had a little bit of a grin, because I thought, well, I play Marin and the chest just gets hexed. But turns out he actually goes with the heal rain at this point. He kind of like dismisses the chest at this stage of the game. So fair dues. So we have a little look in his hand, see where he's got, or in his deck, I should say. And it's portal. We already know it's going to be a portal. Select that bad boy and play it. So we see Storm as well. So, I mean, right now, I'm thinking we're in for a rough ride. And as soon as I see the white eyes, I say to the stream there, he's N'Zoth as well. I'm thinking, good God, this man's greedy. He's rocking N'Zoth and Shudder. Surely not, but I think he is. So we actually use the Hex, our Spy card, kaput, because I'm planning eventually on using Azalina to take some of his cards off him. I use the Hex there. It's good for stopping a 10/10 going into his deck, which could matter in the grand scheme of things later when we're removing stuff, and it stops it from resurrecting from the Zoth. So like I said, we're still keeping it cool. We're not really worried about the chest right now, because he seems to want to reserve the Hex. He doesn't really want to play the Hex in the chest. He's reserving that for a larger minion on our side. I'm going with the Reno on curve there, because I'm thinking if he's going to kill me, he's going to kill me in one fell swoop of the board, right? He's going to have a bunch of giant minions on board, and he's just going to whack me in the face for 30 plus damage. So I'm thinking Reno's not going to pull me back from the brink at any point, so we play it out. See it evolve, Maelstrom Portal. Not too much going on for him there. And again, we're just reserving our minions, trading up value-wise. We want to keep as much value as possible with these trades. We don't want to use any kind of board clears. We just want to make sure that these minions are getting rid of as much as possible, as well as the spells. So again, I hit into the chest there thinking I might be able to Dragonfire it eventually, trying to drop it down into the 5 damage range. No such luck. And he pulls a heal totem as well for our troubles there, so we can't really get much done. And at this point, it's kind of slowed down a bit. At this point, I'll do some jokes for you. How about that? Let's see. A man walks into a butcher's. Butcher says, "I bet you can't kick those 2 pieces of meat above the counter." Guy says, "I'm not taking that bet, mate. The stakes are too high." Why don't they have parties on the moon? There's no atmosphere. Oh, it's because the game's slow at the minute. And then we get the mother of all top decks. Shadow Word Horror, an absolute decimation for the board for 4 mana, followed by the Wondrous Wand, one of the classic cards from our Warrior Fatigue deck. That's the one that we usually want. In this Priest deck, it's pretty good as well. We've got a lot of big spell removal, some big minions as well that we wouldn't mind playing. So we just get rid of our get rid of 1 card there. I think it was, I missed out where it was, but it wasn't important though. So I choose to basically give him Loot Hoarder at this point, because I've basically clocked on that this guy's running the Zoff, knowing that he's played Falnos and he's got Loot Hoarder. And if it comes down to fatigue, we want him to have these like bad death rattles that he doesn't necessarily want. So at the minute, he's going to be resurrecting the chest. He's also going to be resurrecting potentially a couple of card draw minions as well. So that's why we defthed our, well, we basically gifted him the Loot Hoarder there, and we finally see Bran drop. He gets that Jade up to a 5/5 and a 6/6. So we look at Death Knight. We say no to Death Knight. Death Knight's it's not time yet. We need to kill Bran. So this is it's kind of an easy Dragonfire. We leave a 6/1 up, but we take that hit. You know, we gotta take that hit essentially. And yeah, just like a nice little heal and back to business. So yeah, things are a little bit more ropey now. So you can see there's quite a lot of stats there on board. We don't really want to Psychic that back. We don't really want to use our Death Knight yet, because if this guy runs low feb, we want to save Death Knight for that. You know, that potential like low feb turn. So we use Light Bomb, plays around low feb coming down when we need to do a board clear. We summon an 8/8, but it's getting to the point now where, damn, we've got to use this Death Knight. And hot damn, look at that board. As predicted, there's the Loot Hoarder, there's Falnos, there's Aya. Unfortunately, it's not even a good board for me to Death Knight on. I have to Psychic this. As much as it hurts to Psychic back the Zoff, we have to. So yeah, Psychic Wand, and yeah, it's not a bad haul. You know, we get a Drake, which isn't too bad. Nexus, and you know, we could have got a better card than Falnos, but damn, we got to play it. So we don't have a draw. Got to get all that stuff out. And he returns with a Whopper. That was a top decked Aya from the N'Zoth. So it's potentially another one coming back, and it's at this point. This is the Death Knight turn. So yeah, trade in Death Knight, and I have 1 card left in the deck, and the 1 card I have left is the one that saves me from fatigue. So here's the Death Knight drop, and we get to hero power as well. We have we have 8 cards in hand, so we get a free spell, and we draw Benedictus out the deck. Spell doesn't really matter too much unless it's another piece of removal. Or maybe even like Dead Man's Hand or something like that. Something that kind of like stops him from annihilating us. Now here's the scary turn. This dude has got all of the Jade battle cries and the N'Zoth battle cry. Absolutely, brutal. If this guy was to run Loatheb, we'd be in a world of pain now. It'd be game over essentially. But his deck, obviously, his deck's greedy, but there's only so much greed he can put in. Instead of Loatheb, he's running White Eyes. If I was him, I would take out the White Eyes, put in Loatheb. So this is an important turn. We need to Psychic again. Psychic's our only way out. But we gotta kill. There's no way we can Psychic in another Shudder. We can't do it. So our only out at this point is to get these big Jades out, get the Sylvanas out, dump it all away. Now I need to find a time where I can play Benedictus so I don't slowly fatigue out. So this is the difficult part now. He's got us in a tough position. He's got us by the balls right now. There's not much we can do. We gotta. This is where our removal plan came into play. We saved as much removal as possible. We've answered a N'Zoth, followed by a Shudder that summoned more N'Zoth stuff. His Jades are huge. So at this point, we're just going for a single target removal. That's all we can do. We're at the mercy of this guy's kind of top decks. As there was no big Jade there, I'm playing it. I've got to go. This is the Benedictus time. We still want to draw as well, because we need to draw answers from his deck. We're not too worried about fatigue, because he will fatigue more. When he plays N'Zoth, there's a good chance that he might pull more draw cards, which he does, 50-50. This is a really tricky board state though. The two Ayahs are going to summon huge Jades. N'Zoth also is a bit of a threat, dealing 5 damage. We've got to kill the N'Zoth, and we have to deal with these Ayahs as well. So the plan I have is to ping anything that I don't want. So I don't want to steal. I'm going to empty tech. I don't want to steal the 0-2. I don't want to steal either of the card draws. So we swipe the N'Zoth, because it gives us an option then to trade in Benedictus. If we don't steal, something worthwhile here, we can trade in the Benedictus into the N'Zoth. Ideally, we want an Ayah. An Ayah would reduce a lot of pain. So we do get one Ayah, and we burn a big Jade that was in his hand, and more importantly, we burn the Ayah that was psychic into the deck. That's very important, by the way. That psychic Ayah, if he were to play that, we'd be goner, because we can only remove one minion at a time, and that Ayah summons a huge minion on Battlecry and on death. Look at that bad boy. A 19 Jade. That's what it's come to. So we get some nice removal from him. Earthshark, which is a bit unexpected. I didn't think he'd be running that. And at this point, we've only got the choice to entomb that big dude. There's no way for us to kill our own Sylvanas. So just looking at this this board, I'm thinking Excavated's in hand. I'm thinking ping, entomb, ping Sylvanas as well. Drop that Sylvanas to 3 HP. Drop the chest to 5. Next turn I can ping Excavated and ping something else on the table. So I accept like 6 damage is coming in. Perfectly acceptable, right? A second Sylvanas drops, which is from the Psychic Scream N'Zoth. And I'm thinking, yeah, Excavated is pretty good here. I can ping everything off. So it's ping Sylvanas, Excavated, ping chest. I'm hoping here for what am I even hoping for? Probably the crown, right? The crown would be good. Something we can summon a couple of legendaries next turn. That would be fantastic. But unfortunately, it's the goblet. Not something we want to use at all, because all the cards are his, and they're not going to be very good. And this is it, critical point. We only have 2 outs. One out is to draw and hope for the best, which I don't think would work. The other out is to play Azalina. And I said this on stream, Azalina into Devolve. That is the only way out. Hex wouldn't cut it. It has to be Devolve. 10 HP. What do we have in hand? We've got the Devolve. And it's just good enough. And we can see that he doesn't have any direct damage. It's still going. It's still going. You know, no direct damage from hand. I think his last top deck as well is Excavated. I'm pretty sure it was Excavated Evil off the top. So we have full vision over the guy's hand, and he goes full in here because he only has to do 1 damage. And if you were to glance at this board, the quick line of play would be Hex Excavated, but we don't even need that. We've got 2 pings of Excavated, so we can ping Shield off, trade our Azalina in, Excavated, and then re-ping the Bulldozer. So that means we get to keep the Hex, because we can see in his hand that the guy has a 8 mana 8/8 Jade, which, you know, as his last big threat, we're gonna need to hex that. We've got to hex that. And the card he just top decked was definitely Excavated because we just used it. So now we know what we're dealing with. There's no Nazoth in his hand. That is from my Benedictus. He's already played it. And yeah, hex drop. Just go with the heal because we want to get something on board. And when I start to fatigue, I'm going to be taking 4 fatigue. I believe it starts after. So I want to get something on board to start like popping at the face, essentially. So in a position now, it's how quickly can I kill him, and like versus the potential of his devolve as well. So I think I drop the 8/8 here, go for a ping on this, and actually choose to just trade in the 1/1 here. Or do I? No, I go face. No, that's the right play. Go face, Dane. Go face. I actually go face. Figuring that his fatigue is going to be eventually be a lot worse, and if I get more stuff on board, we're all good. So that was the hex. That we knew he had hex. That's why I played the 8/8 over the I think it's a 13/13 Jade. So here I go for a ping, so I can go face again into Aya. And actually, at this point, I actually ping the 1/1 because I actually am worried a little bit about the fatigue race. Because I am taking 4 fatigue next turn. Although, retrospectively looking at it now, I would take perfectly 4 fatigue and 5 fatigue. So, pinging the 1/1 would have been wrong there. Going face was better. But he actually excavated, evils back in and resets our fatigue for 1 more turn. Well, not resets it, but stops it for 1 more turn. And we drop the hammer. The 13 drops. We know his last cards are Devolve and Excavated. And damn if this isn't the luckiest Devolve I've ever seen in my life. He manages to survive another punch out, but we got him. We have Sylvanas in hand, so we can ping twice, and that seals the deal. So I hope you enjoyed the DVD commentary. That game was pretty intense. I've shortened it down a little bit, but I hope to give you a little bit of insight into that. Very, very. That's the greediest shaman I've ever seen. I don't think I've seen a greedy shaman. Enjoy.